Before I show you how my student Lauren went from 0 to 117 sales in 60 days, you need to understand something. She didn't add more products. She didn't post on social media. She didn't run ads. She fixed 3 simple mistakes within her existing listings. That's it. And that's what this video is about. So Lauren joined the sales sprint right when she opened her Etsy shop selling digital resources for authors. Things like character development workbooks, novel planning templates, romance story guides, really high quality products. A lot of them had over 100 pages. They were fillable PDFs. They were literally exactly what authors need. But here's what was happening. She'd get a few views here and there. Maybe someone would favorite a listing, but sales were barely trickling in. And this is where it gets frustrating, right? Because she was doing everything the Etsy gurus tell you to do. She had professional looking photos, she niched down her shop, and she had everything set up properly, but something wasn't clicking. So when she came to me for a shop audit, I looked at her shop the same way a customer would. I didn't go straight to the back-end settings or obsess over her SEO first. I just asked myself, if I landed on this shop right now as a potential customer, would I buy? And immediately I saw 3 things that were blocking her from making sales. And here's the thing, these weren't complicated issues. They weren't things that required a complete shop overhaul or some secret Etsy hack. They were simple things that could be fixed in less than 24 hours. Now, before I break down exactly what we changed, I want you to think about your own shop for a second. Because if you're getting views but not sales, or if you're stuck at 0 and wondering what you're doing wrong, it's probably one of these 3 things. The good news is that once Lauren fixed them, everything changed, and I do mean everything. So let's start with the first problem, her listing photos. When I first clicked into her shop, the first thing that I noticed was her listing photos had very dark backgrounds, almost black. And I get it that dark backgrounds can look sleek and modern, but here's the issue. When your listings show up next to your competitors in Etsy search, it needs to pop. It has to stand out. And when I scrolled through search results for character templates, which were the things Lauren was selling, her dark listing was sitting right next to competitors who had bright white backgrounds. And those bright listings were getting clicked. They had hundreds of reviews. They were making sales. So I told Lauren, your listing photos are your sales page. If someone can't see the value in 2 seconds, they are going to scroll right past it. Think of it like a storefront window. If it's dark and cluttered, people are going to walk right by. But if it's bright and welcoming, they are going to stop and look. But it wasn't just the background. Lauren's photos weren't showing people what they were actually getting. She had a beautiful iPad mock-up with a picture of her template on it. It looked really professional, but I couldn't see the pages. I couldn't see what was inside the workbook. And that's what people want to know. They're thinking, what am I actually buying here? How many pages? What does it look like? Is this worth my money? So here's what we changed. First, we switched her background to a lighter color. Think whites, creams, light grays, so her product could stand out in search results. Second, we showed more of the product, not just an iPad mock-up. We showed actual pages from the workbook and multiple pages because customers want to see exactly what they're getting. And third, we added clear text callouts right on the listing photo. Things like over 100 pages, fillable and printable, instant download. We made the benefits visible at a glance because here's what you need to understand. Your customer is scrolling fast. They are looking at dozens of listings. You maybe have 2 seconds to stop them from scrolling. Your listing photo has to do the heavy lifting. So what I want you to do is go look at one of your listing photos. Search for your main keyword for that product on Etsy and look at the products with the bestseller or popular noun badge. And then you want to ask yourself, does mine stand out or does it blend in? If it blends in, then that means you are going to be invisible, so you have to fix that ASAP. All right, so let's move on to problem number 2. Lauren's product tags. Now this one is sneaky because you can't just see it from looking at someone's shop, but it's the reason why some shops get found and others don't. So when I looked at the back end of Lauren's shop and looked at her tags, here's what I saw. Novel, how-to, fantasy, creation, just single words or 2-word phrases. And I literally asked her, I said, Lauren, why would someone type how to into the Etsy search bar to find your product? Because that's what tags are. They are what people type into the Etsy search bar for your product to pop up. If you are using vague, short tags, you're basically telling Etsy, I don't know who this is for, just show it to anybody. And spoiler alert, that doesn't work. So here's what I did. I went to Etsy and typed in character template, which was one of Lauren's main keywords. And I looked at the shops that were showing up at the top of search results. Now, a lot of them didn't have the bestseller or popular noun badge because this is such a niche topic, but I knew that if they were showing up at the top of search results, it's because they were getting a lot of engagement, which is why Etsy was pushing them to the top. So I clicked into one of them, copied the URL, and pasted it into eRank. And eRank showed me all of their tags. And you wanna know what I found? They weren't using short or vague tags. They were using long, specific phrases like character development workbook, author planning sheets, good notes character template, fillable character profile. These are things people actually type into the Etsy search bar. So I told Lauren, you need to model your tags after what's already working. Use longer, more specific keywords that people are actually typing into the Etsy search bar. And here's the other thing I showed her. Etsy literally tells you what people are searching for. If you scroll down on any product listing, there's a section called related searches. And this is Etsy basically saying, hey, this is what people are typing into the search bar to find this type of product. So we took those phrases, things like character workbook, character planning sheet, author gift, and we added them as tags. We also noticed that a lot of our competitors were using character profile instead of character template. So we switched that too. And here's what happened. Within 24 hours of making those SEO changes, Lauren got 2 orders. That is the power of SEO. When you use the right tags, Etsy knows exactly who to show your product to. And whenever the right people see your product, they buy. Now, let's talk about the big one, pricing. This one is controversial because everyone wants to charge premium prices. We all want to make $50 per sale instead of $5. I completely get it. But here's what was happening with Lauren's shop. Her products were priced from $12 to $15. And when I looked at her competitors, the ones with hundreds of reviews and thousands of sales, they were selling similar products for $2 to $5. And I told Lauren, look, I know you want to charge more, but you're a brand new shop with 1 review, and you're competing with shops that have 500 reviews and a 5-star rating. Who do you think customers are going to trust more? Here's the thing about Etsy. Reviews are currency. Social proof is everything. When someone lands on your shop and they see that you only have 1 or 2 reviews, they're likely going to hesitate. They're going to think, is this legit? Should I take the risk? But when they see a shop with 200 reviews and a 4.9 star rating, they're likely not even going to think twice before they buy. So here's the strategy I gave Lauren. Lower your prices temporarily, not forever, just long enough to get reviews coming in faster. Because here's what happens. A lower price creates an impulse buy. When more people buy, that means more reviews. More reviews means more trust. More trust tells the Etsy algorithm to push your products up in search results. And once you have 20, 30, 50 reviews, then you can raise your prices and charge whatever you want to charge. And I showed her the math. Let's say you have a $10 product that converts at 2%. That means out of every 100 people who see your product, about 2 of them will buy. That means you'll make about $20. But let's say you drop the price to $3 and now it converts at 5%. Out of every 100 people who see your product, now about 5 of them are going to buy, which means you make about $15. So okay, if you did that math, you're making about $5 less. But here's what you have to understand. Now you get the opportunity to get 5 reviews instead of just 2. And those reviews are going to make you way more sales in the long run than missing out on $5. And I've seen this in my own shop as well. My $3 product sells way more than my $13 product. And that's because of volume. Etsy rewards products that convert, and lower prices just tend to convert faster. I've also seen it time and time again with my students like Lynn, who says that whenever she runs a 75% off sale, she gets sales way faster. So Lauren ran a 50% off sale. She dropped her prices to be more competitive. And that's when the sales started rolling in. Reviews also started coming in, and her shop finally started getting momentum. Now, I'm not saying you have to price everything at $3, but if you're a new shop with fewer than 20 reviews, you need to think strategically. Do you want to make $50 this month, or do you want to build a strong foundation that could make you $50 this month, $500 the next, and $1,000 after that while you are out living your life? Lauren obviously chose the second option, which is why she was able to make 117 sales in just 60 days. So those were her 3 biggest problems: listing photos that didn't show value, SEO tags that didn't match what people were searching for, and pricing that made people hesitate instead of buy. And I want to walk you through what happened next, because this is where you see all of those changes start to work together. And side note, she was able to do all of this as a busy mom of 2, going to school to be a speech language pathologist. So on week 1, Lauren started working on her listing photos. She lightened the backgrounds, showed more pages of her workbooks, and added those clear text callouts. Then she went into her SEO tags and swapped out those short, one-word phrases for long phrases that people were actually typing into the Etsy search bar. And remember, she had already dropped her prices 50% as a sale. Now here's what's important. She didn't just change one thing and wait to see results. She did all 3 at once, because these changes amplify each other. And I see this a lot with my students. They'll upload one product and wait, or they'll change one listing photo and wait. You have to keep moving. The changes you make work together. When you upload one product, keep uploading more. Don't just stop and wait. You have to keep going so all of these changes can build upon each other. Because better SEO gets you more views. Better listing photos gets you more clicks. And better pricing gets you more sales. So after she made those changes, she posted this update inside of the student community telling us that her lower price products, like her $3 guidebooks, were convincing people to buy her more expensive products. So she had a $40 bundle, and that was selling more because people would buy her $3 product, see how great it was, and they were more willing to keep buying from her because they knew she delivered. Now, by week 3, something else started to shift. Lauren wasn't just getting random sales here and there. She was getting consistent daily traffic. Her views went from sporadic, maybe 1 or 2 a day, to multiple views every single day. And here's why. Etsy's algorithm was starting to notice. When people clicked on her listing and actually bought, Etsy thought, okay, people like this product. Let me just show it to even more people. So that meant her products started showing up higher in search results and in more places for search results. So that meant more people saw them, more people clicked, and more people bought. And with more sales, she got more reviews. And those reviews made the next sale even easier. But she didn't stop there. She kept optimizing. She tested different types of listing photos, which is what I teach you to do in the sales sprint in the A/B testing section. And she was doing this because she wanted to see which type of listing photos would perform better. Then, once she saw which ones performed better, she could change her other listing photos to look more like that. So she wasn't just sitting around hoping for sales. She was strategically improving her shop based on what works. Now, by week 8, Lauren was at 117 sales with a brand new Etsy shop. She had a 4.9 star rating, and she had real reviews from real customers saying how much they love her products. And then she woke up to 3 orders in one morning, totaling $98 in revenue. Now, here's what I want you to understand. This was not luck. This wasn't the algorithm randomly deciding to bless her shop. This was the result of strategic changes that compounded over time. Just think about it. If she had only fixed her SEO but kept her unclear, dark listing photos, people would find her products, but they likely wouldn't click. And if she would have only lowered her prices and kept everything else the same, she'd still be invisible in search results. But because she fixed all 3, everything worked together. Her products got found, they got clicked, they got bought, they got reviewed, and then Etsy showed them to even more people. You can have all the information in the world, but if you don't have a clear path forward, you are going to get overwhelmed. You're going to second guess yourself, and you're probably going to quit. Lauren didn't quit because she had a system, and that system is what got her to 117 sales in 60 days. And it's the same system that has helped multiple people make their first sale on Etsy. Now, here's the thing. You can take these 3 lessons and go apply them to your shop right now, and you'll likely see some improvement. But here's what I want you to understand. Lauren didn't just learn these 3 things and figure out the rest on her own. She had a complete system. She had a roadmap that told her exactly what to do, in what order, and why it mattered. And that's what made the difference in her getting 117 sales in 60 days versus spending 6 months trying random strategies and hoping for the best. Now, if you want to see the complete roadmap that Lauren followed, head to the description because we would love to celebrate you when you hit your first 100 sales. But if you're watching this thinking, I'm not quite ready for the sales sprint, but I still want to make some more sales, then I want you to watch this video next. I'm going to give you a simple strategy you can rinse and repeat for the next 90 days that's going to help you get to consistent sales. No guessing, no overwhelm, just a clear plan you can follow. So head over there and I'll see you in that video.